Story Time is brought to you by पाकिस्तान सोसाइटी ऑफ नॉर्थ टेक्सास। पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी में हम आहंगी का फ़रोग और मुस्बत सोच को परवान चढ़ाना हमारा मकसद और पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी के नुक्ते नज़र को मौसर अंदाज में पेश करना हमारी कोशिश का महवर। पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के हम कदम पाकिस्तान सोसाइटी ऑफ नॉर्थ टेक्सास।
Dear children, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another great session of Story Time where we listen to great stories from Quran, all of them true and wonderful stories with some very inspiring messages. And before we start our today's great story, let's see who's here with us.
Hey, it's Isha with you.
Okay, Isha.
Hey, this is Moz.
Moaz.
Hi, it's Rai.
Larep.
Hello, it's Harim with you to listen to some inspiring stories.
Okay, and Harim. And with this, let's start our next story, right?
Yes.
You all ready?
Yes.
But before that, where we ended last time?
Hazrat Suleiman.
Hazrat Suleiman, yes. And we came to know that he had two titles. One, he was a
Prophet.
and a
King.
and a king. And his kingdom was huge.
Yeah.
He was a very powerful king. And what special power he had?
That he had the ability to talk to the insects and
Right.
animals and listen to their conversation.
Right, he could talk to animals, he could listen to them, he can understand them, and he could talk to them. Wow, interesting.
He can listen that what they are talking.
Yes,
Is
he
this
can understand.
the really first ability, the speciality of Hazrat Suleiman?
Right, exactly. This was his specialty. And no one since then ever had this power. He was the only one with this power.
So how could he, if insects were being killed like by the non-believers who were there, so how did he get to know about that?
See, they all, the animals and insects, they had one representative who came to the court of Hazrat Suleiman to inform him.
If the non-believer, the ants the ants were being killed by the non-believers, so will the representative be complaining about that?
He would come to the court. He would visit Hazrat Suleiman. They would pass on message and message and message to message, and then finally the representative would come to the court of the ambassador, right? To Hazrat Suleiman's court to inform him about what has happened.
So will he take any action?
Yes, of course. He would punish people who would harm other things, living things. That was his job as king and a prophet. And another special power he had, that all the jinns were under his control.
And the wind. Also.
And the wind.
And the animals also.
And the animals also. Right, exactly. So after his death, this great kingdom of Hazrat Suleiman just vanished, just went away. It was all destroyed. Because after his death, Bani Israel were again making trouble, and they were fighting, and they were disobeying. So all that time of peace was gone. And Bani Israel were now scattered in different places. And many other people who were not believers, non-believers, they came and they also settled in the same area. Everything changed because people were not thankful. They didn't thank Allah.
So which prophet are we going to listen to?
And the next prophet that came after Hazrat Suleiman was Prophet Yunus. So after many years of Hazrat Suleiman's death, once the whole kingdom was gone, Hazrat Yunus was sent after Hazrat Suleiman. And Hazrat Yunus was a very kind man. And he went around telling non-believers about Allah and guiding them. And so Allah had sent many prophets to many towns and cities all over the world to guide them. And one of them was Hazrat Yunus, who's mentioned in Quran. The others are not mentioned. And we are sure there were plenty others. But we only know about those which are mentioned in Quran. Right? So Hazrat Yunus was sent to this big city of that time called Nineveh. And I believe it's in Iraq, somewhere in Iraq. The remaining buildings, the archaeological sites of Nineveh are still there in Iraq. And it was a big city. I mean, it was a big kingdom. And the people of that time, of that town, were not believers. They didn't believe in Allah. They were idol worshippers.
They always worship idols.
Yes. So Hazrat Yunus went to the town to tell them about Allah. And what do you think? People listened or they didn't listen?
They listened.
They didn't listen.
But they were already Muslims.
No,
on
they,
Israel.
like I said, many areas of that time had become non-Muslims again.
Did the
Like the
they
generations.
obey Allah?
Like the generations, right?
Did they obey Allah?
No, they didn't obey Allah.
They were non-believers.
They were non-believers, yes. So Hazrat Yunus stayed with them in this big city. And you know, more than 100,000 people lived in that city. For that time, it was a huge number. Because most of the towns and villages had 500 or 1,000 or maybe 2,000 people living there. And this city had 100,000 people living there.
Very much popularity.
Yes, and they were powerful and they were very popular. Like just like any big city today, like London or New York or Los Angeles or Beijing or Shanghai, they were very famous because it was a big city, right? They had lots of places over there
So
and big buildings.
they were famous because of their strongness or because of their leaders or...
No, because of the beauty of the city and the kind of things they had in that city. So Hazrat Yunus was sent there to tell people about Allah and to make them Muslim. And people didn't listen,
As usual.
as usual. And Allah told Hazrat Yunus to stay there and keep telling the people of Nineveh about Islam.
Did they
And
live
people didn't
in
listen.
Did they live in desert?
No, it was a beautiful big city with
Fertile
gardens.
one?
Yes, very fertile. Nineveh was very fertile area.
Did Allah punish them?
Wait a minute. We will see what happens next. Allah didn't punish them. You know why? Let me tell you. Now, Hazrat Yunus was there to tell people about Allah and they didn't listen. So Hazrat Yunus had an idea. He said that on the other side of the river, you see, Nineveh was right beside a big river. Nineveh was
That's why the land was fertile.
Yes, that's why the land was fertile. That this here is Nineveh, this is a big river, and on the other side of the river there was this small town. So after many years, Hazrat Yunus thought that he should go and tell the people of that small town about Allah, because these people of Nineveh are not listening to him. But Allah had told him to stay in Nineveh all the time.
So he didn't have the revelation of migration.
Yes, he was not ordered to migrate to this other city. He was told by Allah to stay in Nineveh. But he thought that he said to himself, I think I should go for a day and work there and talk to those people and then come back. But Allah didn't want him to do that. So he sat in a boat and started his journey towards the other side of this big river.
So he was misguided by Saturn.
Well, he was not misguided. He just had this different idea. He just wanted to go there and talk to those people about Islam.
Because those people didn't listen to
Didn't
him.
listen to him. And right when the boat reached in the middle of this big river, there was a big storm.
He had a family.
He had a family, of course.
So he was going alone?
He was going alone. So he jumped into this boat, and this boat had 12 people on it, and they all started to go towards that village. And they all knew him, that he's a very honest man, and he's a good man. Though he didn't believe in Allah, but he knew that he's a good man. But right when the boat reached in the middle of the river, a big storm came from nowhere.
Storm also comes in the river.
Yes, the river started to, there were strong winds, and the river just out of nowhere, big waves started to appear, and the boat started to rock.
But rather than coming to the non-believers, it come to the Prophet?
Yes, of course. It came to the Prophet. And right then, he knew that this thing, this strange storm that is coming in the river and making the boat rock is coming because of him.
But he was not having the intention to do that.
That's right, he didn't have intention, but still he was supposed to do exactly what Allah wanted him to do. So the boat started to rock, and the people who was in that boat, they knew that someone in that boat had disobeyed Allah.
How? But they didn't believe in Allah.
Right. See, the way they did, what they did, that they believed in Allah and they believed in many other idols.
So they were doing shirk.
They were doing shirk. Exactly. They are creating partners with Allah. And whenever the trouble came, they always went to Allah. And when the trouble ended, they started believing in many other idols beside Allah. So this was a strange thing. You remember the people of Egypt, Pharaoh did the same thing.
Yeah.
Whenever he was in trouble, he asked Musa to pray to Allah. And when the trouble was over, they started worshipping Pharaoh. So same thing about these people. They believed in Allah only and only when they were in trouble. So same thing happened again. And they were smart people. They said among themselves that someone on this boat has disobeyed Allah. That's why this strange storm has rocked us, has come here. And we would all drown if we don't throw the sinner, the person who disobeyed Allah, in the river.
They should all be out of that boat.
Yes.
Because they were all sinners.
Yes. So what, they had an idea.
So were they kind of a selfish people that they want to save their own lives?
Yes, exactly. They said that if we don't throw the sinner in the river, we would all be killed. So they said that how we would decide that who has done a sin, who has misbehaved and who has disobeyed Allah. So they wrote the name of all the people on the boat on small chits.
Was there so much time to do all this?
Yes, see, the storm was in a way that it was coming and giving them time and then coming again, and the boat was stuck right in the middle of the river. It was not going forward and it was not going backward. So they knew that it was from Allah. It was a strange storm. And boat was just going in circles here and there and there and here and not moving forward or not going backward.
So that they could not reach their destination or not go to that.
Exactly. So they said that we will draw names. And by drawing names, Allah will guide us and we will know that who is the sinner, who has done the wrong among us. So they wrote the name of all the people, made chits, and put it in front of them, on the floor of the boat. And they said, okay, let's pick one.
So what happened to the people in Nineveh?
In Nineveh, they were still there. They were waiting. We'll find out what happens to them. Okay. So when they picked up this paper, guess whose name was there?
Hazrat Yunus.
Hazrat Yunus. And they put it back. He said, no, 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 no. It can't be Yunus. He's so good. He's so pious. He's so nice. He's so humble. Put it back. And they put it back. And they shuffled it again. And they said, let's pick one. Now you pick one. So the other person picked one piece of paper and opened it.
And it was Yunus.
And it was Yunus. And again. And again. And again. It was Yunus. And right then Yunus knew that what has happened.
Allah's miracle, and he wants.
Yes, he was not supposed to leave. He said, wait, don't do this drawing anymore. I am the one who has disobeyed Allah. Throw me in the river. And they said, are you sure? You, Yunus, you disobeyed Allah? He said, yes, it's me. So they picked him up and threw him in the river. And right when he was thrown in the river, Allah sent this big whale. A whale entered this
In the
big...
river?
Yes, on this big river.
Did he?
It came down, a special whale that was created just for this purpose.
Did
So-
the whale eat Yunus?
It swallowed pound.
There were no fishes in the river.
There were no such a big fish in which Hazrat Yunus can stay inside. And Allah said that I ordered you to just keep Hazrat Yunus inside your belly. You're not going to eat it. Don't harm him. Don't break even his one bone. And fish obeyed. And he stayed inside the belly of the fish for 40 days and 40 nights. And he was in this dark place, right? And just imagine the
And
belly
how
of
would
a
he,
stomach.
how is he alive?
Allah kept giving him this power to stay alive for 40 days and 40 nights. He kept drinking water and whatever was there, and he was alive. Miracle.
It's a huge miracle.
Yes. But the next miracle is that Allah told him, he was crying, he was upset that he disobeyed Allah. And Allah said that you are going to recite this special dua, and that will make you come out of this place. And that dua is in the Quran still today. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntum minas salimin.
So
That
that's
you are Lord, you are Allah. All praise is to you. Indeed, for sure, I have made a mistake.
So that's why when we are in trouble, and
Yes, we say
so we
this.
recite this.
Yes. So he kept saying this over and over and over again. And after 40 days and 40 nights staying in the belly, Allah ordered the fish to come out and go to the bank of the river and throw him out.
So was he fragile or
He
something?
was very
thick?
fragile. He was very sick. So there was this big leaf that took over him to provide him shade, and there was this special vegetable that grew where he fell down, and Allah told him to eat this vegetable and gain some power.
What was that vegetable?
Some people say it was squash.
What was squash?
Squash is a green vegetable this big, which is very soft and it's very healthy. So he ate squash, and there was this spring of fresh water there. He drank water and he became okay. He became fine.
So he got back in the Nineveh or in the small town?
No, he went back to Nineveh, and meanwhile, once he left, there was this punishment of Allah, the same cloud, remember? Every time it was a cloud with punishment, it started to move towards Nineveh. And right when this cloud was right here, close to the city of Nineveh, they knew that Yunus has gone and something is going to get very bad very soon over there, and the punishment of Allah is there. So all the people that took off their expensive clothes and put on some very inexpensive soft clothes made of cotton, and they started crying in front of Allah, asking for forgiveness from the bottom of their heart. And Allah forgave them, and they were all Muslims. So when Hazrat Yunus stepped back into the city, thinking that he is back into the city of non-believers, they all welcomed him. They said, "Where was you? We were missing you. We have all become Muslims. Please come and teach us how to offer our salah." And that's when Hazrat Yunus realized that Allah has all the power. He can do whatever He wants to do, and we must obey Allah all the time. Wasn't this an interesting story?
Yes.
Wonderful, right?
Yes.
So children, tomorrow you will find us here again with another great story from Quran in another great session of story time. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.
Story Time was brought to you by पाकिस्तान सोसाइटी ऑफ नॉर्थ टेक्सास। पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी में हम आहंगी का फ़रोग और मुस्बत सोच को परवान चढ़ाना हमारा मकसद, और पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी के नुक्ता नज़र को मौसर अंदाज में पेश करना हमारी कोशिश का महवर। पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के हम कदम, पाकिस्तान सोसाइटी ऑफ नॉर्थ टेक्सास।